you how you can get a copy of that. Haviz, you manufacture all sorts of sportswear, activewear. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, this is awesome. Starting a restaurant, David. Congratulations. How exciting. You're coming at the right time so you know exactly what you're digging into and so you don't make any costly mistakes because it's very easy to make expensive mistakes with Google Ads. So we're going to talk about some of the basics, but these basics are foundational to be sure that you do not have to worry about, oh, have I spent poorly, because you can now know what you're measuring in there and make some really good decisions. All right. I want to say thank you to our wonderful Google partners who make sure first that you get what you want. They are listening to you and they're the ones who come to ask me to come in to speak to you. But then also that you get this information and you get the support, because I'm one person, as I mentioned before, I'm traveling. So I'm one person. It might take me 5 days, 2 weeks to even get back to a question you have where they have you here. Now, I will share with you how you can reach me in our membership, because that is where I do answer on a daily basis. But you've got so many boots on the ground, so much experience, and OPE, other people's experience, is as valuable as other people's money. Hello, Morgan. Hello from Lubbock. Daniela from Santa Monica. Welcome. So I'd like to say thank you to the UT Rio Grande Valley SBDC, Baker Ripley, the Houston LGBT Chamber, University of Houston, Victoria SBDC, my own stomping grounds, Victoria, America's SBDC at MSU, Texas, Centro, San Antonio, SCORE, Austin, the DEC, I know the Coastal Bend very well, and Corpus Christi, Adrian, welcome, Sul Ross State University in Rio Grande, Transition Skills Training, El Paso Community College, Del Mar SBDC, Texas State SBDC, and Texas Tech, Northwest Texas Business Resource Center. So welcome to everybody, and thank you for being here, and you just might want to screenshot them as well, although I'll share with you how you can get a copy of today's slides and everything that you need, but you might want to screenshot that because they are the ones who can help you if you have questions afterwards more immediately than I, other than in our membership. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let me go back here. If you want a copy, let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Maria Coaches. I thought it was going to be Google Maria, Bitly Google Maria, but Maria Coaches will get you to the slides. All right. You will get a copy of this recording if you are logged in, which, the ones hearing my voice, you guys are logged in and logged into the email that you provided. You will see when you go to bit.ly/Maria Coaches, or if you use that QR code, you will see another PDF in there. You can fill out the form if you want to make sure, let's say you're using a different email address than what you registered with. Maybe you want to be sure that anytime Google does an update on these slides, because this is straight directly from the Google team, these slides, and you want to make sure when there's an update, so there's a change in the platform, there's a change in ads, you get a copy of the update. So if you will sign up there, you will get that. If you just want the recording and the slides, you'll have that available to you for the next 10 days just by being registered within the email that you actually registered for the session on. Okay, so all of that is taken care of. You will have access to that folder that you're seeing right now. To get a copy of the slides, you'll have access to it just while the session is going on. Then that'll close out. Then we'll email you another access. Okay, all right, everybody. And you can contact me later. Perfect. Look at this. We've got networking going on. I love it. I love it. All right, everybody. I'll hang here just for a moment if you haven't got the slides in the handout. And again, the replay will show up there later today because, of course, I'm live right now. So I don't have the replay yet, but I am recording. All right. So let's talk about how we can learn the basics of Google Ads. If you want to post or tweet, you're learning something new, you want to know, let people know you're leveling up your skills, just use the hashtag #GrowWithGoogle. Tag me. You can see the first tag, the first handle there, at Maria Duron. That's me on Twitter or X. And the next one at GetFoundGotGrowth. That is me on Instagram. Feel free to tag me there. If you tag me there, I will show you love by being able to repost, retweet, share you in my stories, and make sure you get visibility, because I love when I can showcase when people are learning, and also when you have applied what you've learned. I also love to have those celebrations too. Okay, so we were going to be talking about learning the basics of Google Ads Perfect, Daniela. Oh, this is awesome. See, I love the networking that's happening there because we never know who somebody is, what they need, who they influence, who they'll become. So let me know in the chat boxes if this is your first time to ever have a session with me. I would love to know if this is your first time to ever be in a training session with me. Just let me know in that chat box. This is who I am. Of course, I'm with the Google team, but I've also been in business for a little bit, small business, and started from the ground up, grassroots, in an incubator project. But I've been in business for almost 20 years now. I'm super excited. I've been on international e-commerce for the last 15 years. Everything that I share with you today is not just what's on the slides, but from my own experience. And as I mentioned earlier, getting the value of other people's experience saves us significant time, energy, and money that we would have to spend on ourselves. And how much is our time worth? We only get 86,400 seconds in any given day. No more, no less. Not a single one of us. So how are we actually using and investing what we do? All right, I see a lot of first-time people here. We've got people from Graham. All right, everyone. Daniela says she can't hear me. Anybody else have any issue with that? Because I'm seeing lots of good responses here. We've got first timer here in Katie, a realtor. Hello, Pamela. Hello, David. Hello, Daniela. All right. From far, everybody, can you hear me all right? Okay, perfect. Everyone can hear. So Daniela, let me go ahead and just message. Sometimes the internet gets wonky. I'm not in charge of it, but it does. It just gets a little laggy. And so because of that, sometimes the thing that takes the biggest space on getting onto online, which will be video and audio, takes longer to get there. Perfect. Christopher, thank you. It decided to mute me. Well, how dare it? No, I'm laughing. I know it does that to me too. Isn't it fun when you're trying to get on a meeting and then all of a sudden it needs to do an update? Like that's the first thing you want to do as soon as you jump on. But thank you, Daniela. I'm so glad you let us know. All right. We are going to be talking about how Google Ads can help people. Perfect, Adrian. Adrian, thank you. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly. This is the hard part when we're not face to face because I can't hear, so I can only read. So hopefully I am, and I'm so excited that you're here. I'm glad you've taken several Google courses. I'm glad you're here at my session. I hope I can be really helpful to you because I do try to make sure that I make the non-tech or the techie non-techie. I understand. I mean, we're all busy being butcher, baker, candlestick maker in our business. Now we have to be chief marketer, chief advertiser, analyst, all of the above, and we're taking care of our customers. So I do understand what it's like to apply these things in grassroots when you're taking care of everything and have so many roles. So as we look at Google Ads, we can see how it helps people. We see that people look online. Truthfully, people go. 94 to 99% of people go to Google first when they want to know, go, do, or buy, and they go on a mobile device. More often than not, 84% go on mobile first, and YouTube is the second place they search. Both are owned by Google. That's why it's so important for us as small businesses to really understand how ads and how Google search works, because if we're going to show up as we're in business, we have to know how to show up and how to be able to conquer and work through Google search and show up there high in search. This is really important because location no longer means just having a storefront or having a great location on a very busy, high traffic corner. It also means you need to be online because this is where people go first when they want to know, go, do, or buy. So you see the benefits of online advertising. It helps you with reach, control what people are seeing, what you're promoting, so that if, let's say, you have something that's too much in inventory or you have a special that you're promoting, David, then you could definitely promote that out and get that in front of people and not wait just for whatever the algorithm picks up. We know it's really important to be visible because if we're not visible, then people can't do business with us. So today we're going to be talking about how Google Ads work, how you can advertise on Google. Now I am going to be talking about some of the paid parts of Google, but I also will talk about what's free and small fee. And the big push here is not just to make you feel comfortable in what you're seeing when you go into Google Ads, but to help you manage it in a way that you're getting the most bang for your buck. Okay? So we'll talk about improving how you can measure your success, because if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent, that's not lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goal. Is $1 or 1 minute spent too much? So let's go ahead and talk about that. As always, I recap with resources, free resources that are available to you just because you were here in the session. So let's talk about how Google Ads works. It starts with people searching. They either look in the address bar or they go to Google search here. They say, hey, Google, hey, Alexa, and Google goes out and gets those results. Advertisers can bid on where they want to show up, and how best they want to show up to their target audience. So it's so important for us to understand who our target audience is. While we can serve anybody, everybody, and somebody, if that's what our targeting, our messaging is, then we'll get their second cousin, nobody. It's too broad. We don't have the kind of money to push out ads to everybody, anybody, and somebody. So we really need to hone in on who is that best customer. Who is that one who gives us the most pleasure and profit? We've all worked with customers who were maybe not the most fun, took a lot of reselling. They were very hard to educate on what it is that we provided in our product and service. And so therefore it became very time consuming. Think about who is that best customer that you want them to see your message. Either it could be on social posts or even in ads, and you want them to just snap their finger and say, my gosh, they get me. They get me. So while how ads work is you have an ad auction. This really determines from how active things are happening in search around the words people use. So those are known as keywords, the words people use when they're searching. How active are people there? So it does fluctuate. And you can see how at the very top, you see the very two search results with a little green ad box around it. Those are where you could get paid, or you actually pay to show up there. You could also use Google Shopping ads, which are the photos that you see oftentimes up there at the highest of search at the very top. So today we're going to be talking about really text ads, okay? So I'm not going to lean too heavy into e-commerce, not just yet. We actually have a whole session called Sell Online with E-commerce Tools, or How to Be Profitable with E-commerce, and that really does take a deeper dive. Today I am going to be talking about how ads can work in general, even if you are a consultant service-based, so you don't have e-commerce. If you're a restaurant, a boutique, so you could be home-based or by appointment only. You could be a plumber service, AC, a heating and air conditioning tech, or refrigeration tech, or you could also be a restaurant, as I said, boutique. So it doesn't have to be just focused on a location base. So when you pay per click, it is actually each click. So it's not impressions. A lot of times in traditional media, you'll hear what impressions are. So if you go out, let's say on traditional TV, or let's say you are in print advertising, you might get 35,000 impressions. Those are potential eyeballs looking at you. But you don't know if they're really interested, because they could just be picking it up to see that their kiddos won in local sports. They're not interested in the ads. So when you get a click, that is somebody who actually clicked on there. And while sometimes we'll click on by mistake, often a click is good intention to show that there is an interest. All right, I do have a question here about the Sell Online with E-commerce session. Take a look. I'm going to actually bring this out to everybody. So you'll get it also when you get a copy of today's slides, but let me put this down here. To see all the upcoming sessions that I do, you can see that there, because I can't remember the date right now, Heather, but I will definitely, take a look there. I always keep that updated with the latest session, and you can feel free to request and say, hey, Maria, I'd really love for you to do this session. And if a lot of other people are interested, we can talk about it in socials to say, hey, are you interested? I'll bring it up. Okay. So the Google Display Network can show, or talk to your Google partner who invited you to. They have the most clout to come and say, all right, I'm going to ask everybody in our membership or that we serve within the community and see if they're interested in how to sell online with e-commerce tools. Okay? So ads can also appear in about 3,000 other places and partners. So when I talk about partners, who are they? It could be within your Gmail account or in YouTube. It could be in a YouTube short. It could be when people are utilizing their Google sites or searching on Google sites, or when they're on Google Maps, or when they're going Google search. So there's a lot of other places that it actually shows up. And when you are advertising on Google, you actually start right here at that very top bullet point, google.com/ads. That's where you begin. Now, do know if you have a Gmail account, a free personal Gmail account, or a free Google account, you're golden. You already have Google access. You just need to go to google.com/ads. And what you'll do there is then refresh. If you're already logged into your Gmail or Google account, you'll just refresh everything. And now you'll be able to get in and get started. So now that you're signed in, if you don't have a Google account, then you will need to do the third bullet point there, which is sign into your Google account. And you, by default, will be dropped into what's known as a smart campaign. What a smart campaign does is it helps you by leaning into Google's actual history, its data, and Google's AI, artificial intelligence, to explain and to share with with you what are the best keywords, the best focus area, and even the best practices in putting what the content is in your ads, okay? So when you get started here, this is what it looks like. This is where you enter your business name. So just put your business name as it is. If it's a real, LLC or anything like that, you'll have a chance to change it when you go into the actual ad development. And now you'll enter the website that you want people to go to when they see this ad. So you can already tell there are some decisions that need to happen before you have an ad. Number one, who is the target audience? Who needs to be able to see this content and see that ad and say, oh my gosh, they get me. That's what you want. That's the reaction. If they don't feel it's about them, it's too easy to skim past because there are thousands of messages that they're seeing. Also, as your other decision is not just who your target audience, what do you want to market? What is the purpose of this? What does success look like, sound like, and feel like from this ad? What do they need to do after they see this ad? So as we look here, what is it that they need to do? Is it they need to go look at this wonderful new Avita lotion that you have coming in? Because then, instead of taking them to the home page, you take them to the page on your site where you sell that Avita lotion, or where you showcase what a couples massage looks like. If that's what you're marketing, a couples massage. Again, you want to take them where you told them you're going to take them. A lot of times people make big mistakes right here. This is the most costly mistake in ads after not having a good target audience. The second most costly mistake is that you take them to your homepage. A lot of times our homepage is a hot mess. It's just where we dump everything and we hope that people will find what they're looking for. Unfortunately, hope is wonderful to have, but it's a poor strategy. It's more important for us to take them where we told them we're going to take them because we are building trust. And if somebody's going to do business with us, they have to know, like, and trust either our product, service, or solution. And part of that is just doing what we say we're going to do. Okay, so take them to that site. I know I've spent a lot of time there, but I've seen people lose thousands and thousands of dollars because they take them to the homepage and then they ask me that question saying, Maria, they go to the homepage and they just leave. They do nothing. And I said, well, because you're expecting them to search for it and they want you to take them where you told them you're going to take them. So now they're going to go to somebody who does do what they say they're going to do. So take them where you told them you're going to take them. Now you have a chance with that website link, whatever page of your website they're going to go to. Let's say if it's a video you want them to see, or perhaps you want them to download a PDF or fill out a contact form, you'll see what it looks like. You'll get to see what it looks like on a mobile and desktop. So you do get this preview, and that's important because if you all of a sudden discover that your site is not mobile responsive because something's hanging off the edge or you have to swipe side to side to see it, or it's too small, you have to pinch and zoom, then fix that first before you do an ad, because this will cost you. There is the most costly penalty that you have within Google is that your site is not secure and you don't have a mobile responsive site. Remember what I said, 84% of us go to mobile first before anything else. In fact, even the Amazon team is building for mobile, and only when they have additional time, energy, and money will they build for an actual desktop. A lot of people realize mobile experience is different from the desktop experience, okay? So take a look at that. Let me take a look here. Yep, as a consumer, I didn't want to go there. I go elsewhere. That's right, exactly, Zanetta. We are inundated with over 12,400 messages. On average, we don't have time for that foolishness. Take us where you told us you're going to take us, right? All right. So, actually, so there's a question. You guys may or may not have seen it, but I'm going to share it here. It's if you have a Shopify site. So that's an e-commerce site. Shopify is known as a CMS, a content management system. It's kind of where you can upload everything and you can showcase your products, and it takes care of the checkout. So all of that. Ooh, I'm getting a little laggy, so I'm going to quit just showing up my video. Doesn't mean that I'm not here, okay? But I do want to answer that. So smart campaigns can help you with e-commerce, though. I highly recommend, especially if you have actual products that you can showcase, for you to use Google Business Profile and upload your products, Heather, as well as use Google Shopping ads, okay? And we talk about that in the e-commerce session. I hope that's helpful to you. So now you're going to select a goal. All right, that's the third place that people trip up. Remember, I said number one is target audience. They want everyone in the world. Not unless you have enough money to reach and pay for everyone in the world can you do that. So be very targeted. Number two is they take them to the homepage. That's the second mistake. The third mistake is they don't know the goal. They just want them to do something. Well, remember what I said about how many messages we get? And if it's confusing, we don't know what to do next, we also go to the next message. So it's not because we're stupid, but it's because we're inundated with so many messages. And even during the session, we've been in for 22 minutes? Somebody could have texted you, you got distracted by an email, and somebody said, hey, plus somebody needed something else. They came in your room, it was the kiddos, whatever it was, you have distractions. So set the goal and make sure that's prime, top and center with everybody, that they know you're looking for leads, because everything now that will happen in smart campaigns will align to be able to fit that goal. Each one of these goals takes a different alignment, a different structure to your Google ads. So choose that carefully. You might even have several kinds of ads out there so that you can make sure that you're reaching people, and your goal maybe for one ad is that you want to get more calls because maybe you're service-based and you're local, so you want more phone calls. But the other is also you want to get more leads from your actual website, because there are a lot of people who won't make a phone call at all. Try to get Gen Z on the phone, right? They want to be able to text and message. So now you can write your ad. You'll see at the very, very bottom right-hand corner of that rectangle, you'll see character counts. So you have a certain amount of character counts for each line of your ad, and those are characters. So each letter, punctuation mark, and space is a character. You also have the ability to include a clickable call button if you want to. So you have all those choices. Now, what I love about Smart Campaign is depending on what it's picking up from your website, it will give you specific keyword themes. This is valuable because this helps you target. Remember what I said about the number one mistake, target audience? So this helps you target your messaging. And you can look here. Let's say maybe you don't do vegan jams. So that's suggesting at the very top, those are the selected keyword themes. And you can see you can X out of vegan jams if you don't have that. You don't want to pay when somebody clicks on vegan jams if you don't have vegan jams, because now they just get mad at you. And it also gives a signal to the algorithm that it's not a good experience for somebody who's searching because they're looking for something that's really not on their site. So you can also take a look at underneath what are different keywords, the suggested keyword themes, and you can plus those in to add those. So you can show up. Let's say I don't want anybody to miss that I have grape jam. It's my number one seller, so I need to add that in. And I also have apple jelly. That's so unusual. People want to add that in too. Maybe it's not the right keyword theme, so you can show keyword themes. If you look under the first set there under selected keyword themes, you'll see in blue where you see new keyword themes. So you can also choose that if it's not choosing correctly from what it's reading from your site. But that's also a signal. If it's not choosing correctly, everyone, now it's time to take a look at your site and look at everything to see, is everything aligned? Do I have SEO? Do I have my schema? So these are the basics of putting your website together that Google is reading and needs to read to be able to show you high in search, okay? A lot of you guys know that as SEO, search engine optimization. It's not as difficult as it sounds. It's a mouthful, but it is time consuming. That's the hardest part of it, okay? So if you need any help with that at all, please get with your Google partner. Let them know that you'd like a session on that, and I can definitely point you to free resources. So as we look at your location, you can decide to show your ad by location here, or you can say, it's nothing to do with my location. They don't need to come to my place. I don't even want them to. I'm home-based or by appointment only, or maybe I'm a plumber and I've got a warehouse where I put all my equipment, or a carpet installer. So I've got all my supplies there in my van, but it's definitely not for consumer or public facing. Okay. So it's not for customers to go in. Now you're going to set a budget. I do like to go with what Google suggests. And here is why, because I'm not a set it and forget it gal. I will measure my marketing, because if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. Remember, $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. Because I hear the argument, and I'm a fan of socials, very much a fan. I'm in all the socials, but I hear people say, well, it's just free because it's on social. Your time is valuable. It's usually more valuable than money. So I take a look at this here and now go back in 3 days and measure it. Remember, don't set it and forget it, because if you set it and forget it, it can be where you lose a bunch of money on ads that are not doing well. So why do I say I set it and forget it? And I really want to come on the video, but I am getting and seeing a little bit of lag, so I'm not going to come on video. But let me explain the budget. So as you go through this, maybe I have 2 ads. Remember what I said earlier about maybe I have one ad that's targeting people who are going to make phone calls, but then another ad that's targeting people who are going online and will fill out a contact form click on the link. Okay, so let's say I have 2 ads and I decided to spend $7.40 on one ad and $7.40 on the other. One is for calls and one's for online. Then in 3 days, I go back and I see, wow, there are 10,000 people that saw. I didn't pay it because that's impressions, and we don't pay by impressions in Google Ads. We pay by click, cost per click. They have to click or they have to call. So it's cost per click or PPC, pay per call. Now we look at it and we say, oh, wow, 10,000 people. But of 10,000 people, only 10 people filled out the form. All right, now we go and look at the ad that we had that we were trying to get people to call. We also spent $7.40 on that ad a day. We look at it and we say, okay, we got 1,000 people. Not as much as 10,000, right? So we only got 1,000 people. But of that, we got 500 people to call. Where are we going to spend our money, right? Where are you going to redirect that? Are you going to continue to spend $7.40 on each? Maybe if you're hopeful that something's going to happen with the 10,000 people, but I would much rather be more strategic, because remember what I said about hope being wonderful, but it's not a poor strategy. So I'll take that additional $7.40, I'll put it towards the calls because maybe I'll double it. And if I get 2,000 impressions, but 1,000 calls, so it doubles it, now I can start making money because every call is get a chance for me to actually sell our product, service, or solution. You can now review your campaign. You can take a look and see how you did, make any edits that you need to, set up the billing because it does bill you directly. So just so you know, Google Ads, you can run those completely for free. But if you work with an agency, make sure that you have owner access. This is critical because a lot of people will rely on agencies or consultants to take care of everything. And then they sign up your account as if they're the owner. Understand, if they're the owner, they can shut you down or they can shut you out. So you don't want to give somebody that kind of control of your business that you've worked really hard for. Make sure then that you're the owner, you're the primary owner, and then they can have access in their other roles, but you are the primary owner, and never give your Google password away. If you're not sure about why that is, I'm happy to share that, but it really is the biggest danger that you can do is giving your Google password away because it's easier for somebody to log in and take care of your ads or take care of uploading content for you. So you set up billing. You'll do that directly with Google. So you're paying Google directly. You're not paying that to an agency or anything. That's completely the direct cost. Now, you also have, you heard me talk about at the beginning that you started with a smart campaign. By default, you're brought in there. But there is the ability to go in and do what's known as search campaigns. These are what's known as expert mode campaigns. And I like to teach you how to get here only because there's a free keyword planner in there. Keywords, remember, are those things that people use, the actual words, the phrases, when they're typing in or saying, hey Google, hey Alexa, to find something. You want to know what those words are so that your ads and all your messaging, any content you put out, aligns nicely with what they're searching for. The first part of Google search, so Google has an algorithm, you've probably heard of it, and I'm going to be really dangerous here and see if I can go to video. But the algorithm is 3 pillars. Each pillar has about 1,000 different factors, but number 1 is relevance. How well do you match what someone is actually typing in or saying to Google? Because if you're saying, okay, I've got, great brisket that I can sell to you, and they're looking for, I want beef shoulder, beef this, or I have plumbing, and they're looking for heating and air conditioning, but you can take care of that as well, and it's not in your ad or anywhere in your content, you're not relevant, so Google will not match you. So you don't show up. And remember, if you don't show up, people don't know you exist and they can't do business with you. All right, so this is what an account structure looks like. With one free personal Gmail or free Google account, you have access to Google Ads, and then you have an account. So that's one account, right? You can have several campaigns. Remember what I said earlier about one campaign could be that I'm focused on selling my plumbing. And then another campaign could be that I'm focused on selling our refrigeration. And another could be I'm focused on selling our HVAC, so our heating and air conditioning services. Each is specific because a plumber may not need the other. They may actually, but they don't know that right now. Their immediate pain is that it's leaking and it's spilling all over my floor. So remember, we got to meet people where they are. This is the philosophy of fish where the fish are. It takes a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money to get people to pay attention over here. Where's that? Over here, when they're all down here, right? We want to meet them where they're at. Sorry, that video is really, really laggy. I'm just going to go ahead and try to stay off of it, even though I want to jump on. But you'll see here now, let's say our campaign one is for us as a plumber, then one ad group could be, okay, this is for us as a plumber, and this is people who are searching on mobile. So we're going to make it really easy for them to see and see a video of what to do on mobile. And maybe one is, okay, we want them to make calls. And then one is, the third ad group is, we want them to click and fill out our form. Or we want them to watch a video. Can one be for the phone calls and one for website leads? Absolutely, Shannon. Absolutely. So those are how I like to split up some campaigns sometimes, just because I have different goals for each one, right? And we don't want to muddle our message by trying to put it all on one, because that's a waste of money. It really is. You cannot get in there if people are focused on one thing and try to put two different messages. It's too confusing. So when you transition to expert mode, when you're in Google Ads, you'll see the ability to switch to expert mode. Now, for some of you, you'll see it right where you see it there on your screen. For others, because Google is rolling out changes every single moment of the day, you'll look at the left-hand margin, you'll see what looks like a hammer and a wrench. So it looks like a little icon, and that's where you can get to expert mode. So it really will depend on your region. Once you're in there doing a search campaign, you can select the settings here, or call lead. Right. It also depends on that too, right? If you want, it depends on our demand. Either we want a lead on website or call lead, or if we're still getting to know Haviz, our customers, we might not know which they prefer. So let's go ahead and send an ad out to them and get them to tell us, because a lot of times what we think isn't what they do. We're not our best customers, okay? We may have one time, but we're not there now. So as we look at search campaigns, you have the ability to set all of this up. So that's what you actually have to control now in the actual ad campaign when you are utilizing expert mode. You also have the ability, remember what I said about on the left-hand side, you'll see icons there. When you see the wrench and the hammer icon, you'll see a keyword planner there, and you can find out just by putting your website address what keywords are being searched and how actively they're being searched. And this is important because remember what I said about relevance. You have to match what people are searching for. Use their own words, okay? And if you're not sure what their own words are, read your reviews, because in their own words, they're telling you what matters most and what brought them to you. If you don't have reviews yet, read your competitors' reviews. So how you can improve your ads, you can actually look at what you're saying in the first three headlines, that description, is it matching, is it relevant, is it matching the words that people are using, and that website link, we want to take them where we told them we're going to take them. Now at the very bottom left-hand corner, take a quick shot of that. You'll get it in the copy of the slides too if you headed over to where you could get the slides. Let me go ahead and put that, I'm going to drop that once again here in the chat box in case you missed it. bit.ly/Maria. Okay. So you can go there, but go to that text ad tips and it'll give you some really good tips about what's good and what's a good call to action. So you see the very first bullet point where it says jam versus buy cranberry jam, because you don't want it. Let's say you have jam on your actual ad copy. So it's in your ad text. You say jam. So what if somebody is saying, hey, I'm in a jam. I want to go to a jazz jam session. Now you're going to show up and they're going to click on there and you're going to pay for that click, and they'll go there and think, I want nothing to do with cranberry jam. I'm talking about a traffic jam. I'm talking about wanting to jam out with people. I'm talking about being in a jam. That's what I'm talking about. So in this instance, she doesn't want to show up for jam. That's a negative keyword. So she actually minuses that out, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. And she added buy cranberry jam. So she's paying specifically for when somebody clicks on that instead of irrelevant searches about traffic jam. Does that make sense? So there's where you can find your keyword theme actually when you look and see what's provided to you either through your keyword planner, or as I said, if you're in smart campaigns, it'll be suggested to you too because of your website. It'll be linking to your website. You can see what those different themes are, and you can improve those by adding more. So it doesn't show it here in this graphic, but if you look at the rectangle graphic there, under all of those bubbles will also be select a keyword theme. We saw it earlier in an earlier slide. You don't see it here, but you have the ability to select and bring in different keywords and add them in. And you see that very last bullet point about add negative keyword themes. So that's, if you don't want to be found just for jam, that's what's known as a negative keyword theme. And that's what you'll put in here. So for example, let's play with that. Jam. Jam is really broad. Anything that people are looking for regarding jam, they're going to find you. Traffic jam, jazz jam session. I'm going, I'm in a jam. I'm in a pickle even. Now, when you see the quotes around it, that's a phrase. So it means ads may show up on those searches that have that. So it still could be, oh, it's a traffic jam. It's still showing up there. Now, if you say jam exactly, it means it has to be that exact same word. So just jam. So if they are looking for cranberry jam, that may actually boot them out because it's not just jam, it's cranberry jam. So they may not see you. And you see the negative word band, right? Because it's not a jam session with a band. So when we want, somebody's looking for a jam session with a band saying, hey Google, hey Alexa, find a great jazz session or jam session with a band, I'm not the one showing up. We did this recently for somebody using even Spice, Spice Girls, right? So Spice, they saw Spice at a Chicago festival. They didn't want to show up for Spice Girls, but they also had to make the negative keyword Spice Girls because we didn't want to show up for Spice Girls or Beyonce, okay? So we didn't want any of that to show up. Now you can see the keyword planner that we're talking about, even though it's at the very top here, that wrench icon, it's actually now a wrench and a hammer, and it shows up on the left-hand side, okay? So for some of you, you're seeing it just like it's showing up here. For others, it's going to be in the left-hand side and look like a wrench and hammer. I just want you to be aware because when Google rolls out any changes, it does it by region, so not all of us are in the same region. You can now do other things with your ads. You can do call out assets. Let's say you want to call out, let's say you're doing sunglasses and you want to call out that they are UV resistant, right? Or that you can use them with electronics. So you might want to call that out. Or you might want to call out that you're locally. So they're doing business with a local business. You can also use site link assets. Make sure, let's see, you have a video about those wonderful Polaroid glasses and that video is on this page. So it could be here, take a look at this so you'll know the difference in why you want to buy these kind of glasses to work with the electronics in your car. Price assets. It could be that you're calling out, you know what, this is only $15 and my competitors are all at $30. Or it could be a promotion asset. We're all at $15, but today only it's $7.50. I mean, you're seeing that quite a bit today in Amazon Prime days too. There's a lot of that happening. You can do that too with your own ads, and you can control that instead of just being boxed into when there's an event happening. So to think about, what is that goal that you have? What is it that you like to accomplish here? And what does success look like after somebody sees your ad? What do you want them to do? Because that's key. Everything needs to be built towards that. For example, I was working with a team and they had, they actually sold cupcakes in jars. You may know them, Wicked Good Cupcakes. And they sell cupcakes in jars because it's easier to be able to send that out throughout the country since they were getting requests for that. But their biggest selling day is Mother's Day. And they realized on their ad it was bringing everybody there, but they were only buying if it's Mother's Day. So that's the only packages they had available was Mother's Day, Easter, and Christmas. They decided, because every day in the U.S. is a holiday, that they're just going to go ahead and put a calendar on there to show the holidays. And now you can make your own package. So their ad was really doing a lot more work for them and heavy lifting, and they were making it easier for people to buy from them by taking them through, okay, today is take your daughter to work day, and this is the kind of treat you want to bring with you, and it packaged nice. Or it's going to be take your daughter to work day in 2 weeks, and we can get this shipped out to you. Make sense? But that's where you are the expert. You are the subject matter expert on your industry and your business, and you need to apply that to be visible when people are looking for you. So you've heard me talk about impressions. This is the actual definition. A click is when somebody clicks on it, and a conversion is a success action on your site. Now, in e-commerce, we always talk about conversions being sales because in e-commerce, you're there to sell, you want to make money. But for some people, let's say you're a nonprofit, It's you want to get email addresses because you want to build your volunteer list, or maybe you want sponsors and donors. Maybe you're trying to make sure that people are aware of your brand, so you just want them to read your brand story or watch the video about your brand and why it exists. So again, what does success look like? Because a conversion is a success action that's happened on your site. In Smart Campaigns, you can take a look and see exactly what are those impressions that you're getting, the clicks and conversions. If you want to see that, you can even put in how much your average conversion means to you, how much money. For e-commerce, we do this quite a bit because we actually know what the cost of an item is. So we can put that in there to see whether or not an ad's performing and what kind of conversion dollars it's even giving to us. You'll see even by ad groups. Remember we said ad groups, that maybe we have a campaign group that is focused on calls and then one that's focused on people filling out website leads. So we can see specifically what's showing up. A lot of times people will even go specific on their campaigns to say, I want this one to show up in Texas and this one to show up in Oklahoma, this one to show up in Louisiana, and now they can compare even by locations how ads actually perform. You'll see here that you do want to track. Remember what I said about if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting that bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. So look at the conversions, those success actions, and that's how you make a decision on which ads to keep on and which to turn off and reallocate those funds towards the ads that are performing really well. Now here's the expert tip, because I see some people jumping off and they're going to miss this part, which is really an expensive part. And that is that you do need to connect Google Analytics with Google Ads. So Google Analytics is a free tool that you have with a free personal Gmail or free Google account. You don't even have to have a Workspace account, that you're going to link to Google Ads. Why in the world would you do this? Number one, Google Analytics is free. It actually is measuring how people are behaving on your website. Do they like this page? Do they like this information? Do they not like this? Do they completely leave off of this? So it is now, when you connect it to Google Ads, teaching Google Ads what works. Instead of you spending your hard-earned dollars to teach Google Ads, let Google Analytics teach your ads by giving it really good insights about the actions and what people are doing on your website that they like and that they dislike. That will teach Google Ads that, oh, this is not going to work. And then it'll make that recommendation to you in Google Ads, this ad is not performing because it's not matching what people are doing. Again, lean into those free tools because yes, you can do it yourself. I see a lot of people who do it because they don't know any better by putting and connecting their Google Analytics. So then they'll tell me, oh, I ran about $1,000 worth of ads and I figured out this. I come from small business, right? I'm a bootstrap marketer. So $1,000, man, cash flow is cash flow. Either I'm letting it go out on a leak or I'm keeping it coming in. I would rather keep it, keep that leak, close that leak off, right? Do Google Ads allow me to target bathroom remodeling contractors specifically? Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you look at Google Analytics, Paul, it will teach you from the people that come to your site, what are they interested in? So it can teach Google Ads anything it doesn't know just from direct search and from its history, but it'll teach specifically about your customers and people who read your information, who consume your information online, right? Hey, Luther, I see ya. So that's the big takeaway there. Now let's recap. We talked about how Google Ads works, how you can advertise on Google, improve those ads, really look and use that tool that I showed you on the bottom left-hand corner about how you can improve text ads, how you can measure your success, all right? So now what is your action plan? This is critical because knowledge is not powerful until it is applied. So we've just spent about 45 minutes together here. This can either be an expense and really entertaining and good info, or what are you going to apply that you learned? Because once you apply it, I want you to hit me up on socials because I want to do celebratory gift dances with you. Because when you hit this up, you are not only saving money, but you are smartly focused and making money. And this is important because we can work harder or we can work smarter, right? As the saying goes. So what is your action plan? If you need additional assistance, you've got questions, these are the Google partners who invited you, and they are the ones who you need to go to. If you have any other questions, that's who you go to. Oh, I'm frozen. All right, I'm back. Where did I leave off at? I see you, Stephanie Shawnette. It's coming in. Video stuttering. Yes, I made the mistake of going and bringing my video up online. That was me, my bad. After the recap. Okay. So after the recap, It's what's your action plan? What are you actually going to apply? Because we spent a lot of time together today, and it either can be entertaining for you or good information, so it's time spent, or you can invest it in your business. What's your action plan? What is it that you want to do? What are the 1 or 2 things that you can take away from today that you're going to put in action in the next 7 to 10 days? Then hit me up on socials, because I'd love to celebrate with you. And I know the difference that it will make if you truly apply it. I know lots of people, I will tell you, less than 1% of you will actually apply what you learned. So those who do, welcome to the when they say 80-20 rule, that 20% actually get ahead, welcome to the 20%, because you now are ones who actually took action. But I do realize that only 1% will actually take action. And it's the ones who usually hit me up on socials or even say here within the chat what they're actually going to apply that they learned, either the 1 or 2 things. Now, I told you this is how you can actually reach the Google partners that invited you and who could help you. If you want specifically my help, you just like the way I explain things, you would love for me to do video walkthroughs for you or reviews for you of this is my setup, this is what I did, then you want to join our membership, which is office hours. There is a cost to that. So understand Google partners are free. They are free. There's a cost here because there's only one of me, but it's a low cost. So it's a group, and you can use the QR code and actually see a little bit more about that. If you're interested, DM me, let me know, or reply to the email that you get when you get a copy of today's slides as well as the recording, okay? All right, and if I've given you good service, I'm going to model what I teach everybody who's been in a session with me is ask for a review. 97% of people don't leave a review because they were never asked. Of those who were asked, get this really cool statistics. Of those who were asked, 80% would have given a higher star amount and a higher review had they been asked. They just stumbled across it or thought about it. But if you ask, then you will more than likely get a review. And reviews are good because they are third-party validation. They help Google know that we're an actual business, we're a quality business. And when the search engine feels confident in you, it shows you up higher in search for less amount of money. It is an SEO master trick to be able to connect all of your Google tools and build up your reviews to help drive down the cost of your Google ads and to show you higher in search. So this is a good practice here. Definitely do this. You'll see what I did is I actually took the gibberish URL that comes out from Google business profile where you can actually drop off reviews, and I used a custom URL I bought for $8.95 a year is Review Maria, and just redirected it to Google so that they can leave the actual review on Google. Okay? If you want to connect with me, of course, outside of office hours and membership, you just want to follow up, you want to come to the e-commerce session, the e-commerce workshop, or maybe you want to come to something else because we cover everything in there from Google search and maps and SEO, then you can find me here. You can connect with me on Twitter or X, or you can go to getfound.growth, and there is a free marketing community where I do updates. Like I did an update yesterday about all of the different new YouTube AI tools that we have available for free. So if you just want those updates, I don't really work on answering questions there, but I do within the membership community. Actually, oh, perfect. Oh, Adrian, I'm so excited. Adrian has made my day. I love that review. Thank you. Thank you. I would be honored if you would give me a review here, but I'm just grateful for it here in the chat box because I'm so glad. This is my goal, is to always take the techie and make it non-techie, because you're juggling 5 million things. And I understand you're trying to build a business. You're not trying to make an algorithm happy. It's to build a business. So I'm glad I was able to be helpful to you. Thank you so much for that feedback. It means the world to me. That is what I strive for. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording because the Q&A is only for people